härligt att få vara här. Och jag kommer att prata på engelska och mina bilder är på engelska, men vi sa också om man vill ställa frågor på svenska så går det också bra. And please note our forward-looking statements. And first, just a quick overview of Xintela. So we can say in two fields, in stem cell therapy and also in cancer therapy, and that is through our daughter company, Xintela. Today we are about 25 people located at Medicon Village in Lund, and founded in 2009. The R&D work actually started around 2013, so we have been had our operations going now for about 10 years. We listed on Nasdaq First North, and about a year ago, the institutional investor Fleri Invest decided to invest quite heavily in Xintela. They own close to 41% in the company, and we're really happy to have Fleri Invest on board. Before I continue to talk about Xintela and Xintela, I will give you some information about our upcoming rights issue that we announced 24th of May. So this is a rights issue of 123 million SEK, also a possibility to add on circa 11 million. It's a share price of 30 öre per share. What is really exciting here in this structure that we have arranged is that we're no guarantors. We have instead made this really attractive by having a very, we can say, unusual and an attractive warrant structure. So for every 3 shares that is signed up, then you can...
We have a problem with your hand touching the microphone.
Sorry.
So,
okay.
Thank you.
Is that better? Thank you. So every 3 shares, 2 warrants. And those warrants can be activated 2 shares within a 2-year period at 4 different occasions. And when I go through my presentation here today, you will also realize that this is really an exciting offer, because there is a lot that is going to happen those 2 years. And the use of proceeds will be to continue our clinical development with XSTEM in osteoarthritis and venous leg ulcers, and also to further develop our horse product, EQ-STEM, and also to provide Xintela, our daughter company, for some further support until we have further financed Xintela. So, but I will tell you about these activities during my presentation. So some highlights then from our stem cell business. So we have developed a really superior stem cell product, XSTEM. We are in 2 clinical development programs, one in osteoarthritis and one in difficult to heal leg ulcers. And we have a very unique and exciting cell surface marker on stem cells, and that gives us the opportunity and it really the key in our development of this stem cell product. XSTEM is patent protected for all therapeutic use until 2038. And importantly, we have also built our own GMP facility, so we produce our own products. And just to say a few words about stem cells, really exciting cells with huge therapeutic potential, and potential to regenerate and repair damaged tissues. And that comes from their ability to differentiate and to differentiate into other cell types, so they can actually replace dead or damaged cells in tissues. But they also secrete a number of exciting factors, growth factors, immune modulatory, anti-inflammatory factors, that is also part of their regenerative effect. So, but we're not using stem cells as they are. We're using our marker technology to develop this product, XSTEM. We get our stem cell from adipose tissue, actually from liposuction clinics, from so it's donated adipose tissue. We purify the MSCs, the stem cells from this tissue, and then we add on a very unique technology where we actually use antibodies, as you see that picture there to the right. And this is a very important step. You see the colorful two plates, we can see them as cell culture plates, and to the left we have a mix of cells. That's how it looked like when we get the cells from adipose tissue. The adipose tissue contains MSCs, but also other cells, and we want to get rid of the other cells. And that's why we use our specific stem cell markers and that technology with antibodies, so we can actually select out, purify the MSCs. That then makes a very high quality and effective stem cell product. And that is unique for us, and this is patent protected. This gives us a number of both functional and regulatory advantages, so better differentiation, better immune modulation, and even very good homing. They find their way to the damage very well. And we can also see consistent and high quality. So this is a key technology. And then we are, with XSTEM then, we are focusing on different diseases, and specifically these diseases where we see there is a high, huge medical need. As I mentioned, osteoarthritis, difficult to heal venous leg ulcers, both in clinical study. We have also performed preclinical studies in ARDS. That's a very severe lung complication. And we have performed preclinical studies also ready to take that into the clinical into clinical development. And we also made a product for horses that have osteoarthritis, and that is called EQSTEM. So osteoarthritis, as you know, it's a huge disease, and we have no effective treatment here today. So there is huge need. And I'm sure I'm not the only one in this crowd that have osteoarthritis. So it's very common and painful. And what is available today as treatments, we treat pain, we treat symptoms. So there is this great need for something for disease-modifying treatment. And this is, of course, a huge market and a growing market. So we're very excited about our clinical study now that we have ongoing in Australia. It's a phase 1/2A clinical study on knee OA patients. So this is a single articular injection of XSTEM into the OA knee of the patients. It's a dose escalation study, meaning that we're testing 3 different doses. And that means on a patient, that means 24 patients, and we have possibility also to increase with 30 patients. So this is primarily a safety study, but we also investigate preliminary efficacy. And we assess the patients every 6 months up to 18 months. And this morning, actually, we had a press release out on an update from this clinical study. We have reported over time of safety when safety assessments have been made. As I said, that is also the primarily aim of the study. So the first and second dose levels are completed and judged safe by the safety committee. And in the third and final dose level, 6 of 8 patients are now dosed. So we're close now to finalize this dose escalation study. We have now also started to look at some early efficacy signals. And it's very encouraging to see that the patients report reduced pain and also improved function of the knee after 1 injection of this lowest dose, 6 months after the dosing. And this is very encouraging, and we really look forward to continue to assess further with further doses, and also when these patients progress further into this study. And the mechanism of action that we see is based on a extensive preclinical program, a preclinical study that we have performed in horses and also in other animals. So we have demonstrated with EQ-STEM that it's a similar, but it's an equine product, but selected with our antibody and marker and so on. So we have seen safety data, we have seen efficacy data, and very good understanding of the mechanism of action in these animals that we also see very likely applies then also for the humans. So we can see homing, that the MSCs really find their way to the damage. We can see this immune modulatory and anti-inflammatory effect and reduced pain. And differentiation, that the cells, when they find the damage, they can also differentiate to chondrocytes and directly participate in the healing. So our data from preclinical work really support that we have a disease-modifying effect of XSTEM. So then to the next study, our difficult-to-heal venous leg ulcers study. So venous leg ulcers is also a lot of people suffer from this disease and affects around 4% of individuals over 65. And also here, no effective treatment available. And we have also here demonstrated really great healing effect in animals, wound healing effect with XSTEM. This is also, as you see there to the right, also a huge and growing market. We have a study in Linköping, a phase 1/2A study in patients with venous leg ulcers. This will be a study on 12 patients. A single dose will be administered. And the reason why we choose venous leg ulcers as the patient population with ulcer is when we looked at that, you see there to the right, and that is now in Swedish, at this registry for wound diagnosis from specialist units, from primary healthcare units. Venous leg ulcers is really the dominating group of leg and foot ulcers. So we decided to focus on this group, but we have also find out that this is extremely difficult group to recruit. It's patients with high age, not so movable. They also have a lot of other diseases, other complications that make it difficult to include them in the study. This is also a safety study. So we have really struggled with this and are still waiting to dose our first patients, really looking forward to that. But we have made important changes now that I think will speed this up. So we have amended the protocol and we have that approved from Läkemedelsverket, so we can include or a broader patient group that also include larger wounds actually, and other things as well. We have also identified 2 or maybe even 3 additional clinics that we are now going to activate, so we can recruit patients from other regions in Sweden. So with that, we're quite optimistic that this is going to pick up speed. So we have some really value inflection milestones now coming up in the coming year. So we expect clinical results from our OA study, safety results from all dose levels, and also early efficacy signals. Also clinical results from the difficult to heal VLU study, then both safety and efficacy results. And we are also now looking forward to advance our development of EQ-STEM, the horse product for treatment of osteoarthritis in horses. So we have now discussion with a vet clinic to do a small dose, preclinical dose study, and then move forward with the clinical study. So this is really exciting. And also what we have full focus of now is, of course, partnerships and commercial deals. And with, as I described, is our superior stem cell product, also patent protected, our own GMP facility, and a fantastic team. I already see a lot of interest from pharma companies, and I think we are going to do really well in partnerships and commercial deals. So that was Xintela and our stem cell business. Now I'm going to move over to our daughter company, Xintela. And that is not stem cells, it's about antibodies. But it is actually the same marker, the same cell surface molecule that we're using. So it was actually discovered that we did in Xintela, that this cell surface marker that is present on stem cells, for some reason, it's also present on very aggressive cancer cells like glioblastoma and cells from triple-negative breast cancer. So somehow these cancer cells have hijacked our integrin and take advantage of it. And we understand pretty much in what way now. So this is a unique cancer target, and we have developed first-in-class antibodies that I will tell you about. We have also, over the years, built a fantastic, really strong patent protection around this target and these antibodies. And we are now also preparing for the next step for Xintela to move into phase 0 clinical studies. So the antibodies we have made we had looked at several antibodies, but we have selected 2 candidates, and that is Target 9, which is an antibody drug conjugate, meaning that it has a toxin conjugated or bound to the antibody. And so it actually delivers a poison, delivers a toxin to the cells. And then we have a Target 9, which we call like a naked antibody, but it has its own function. So it has a function blocking effect on the cancer cells when it binds to alpha-10 on the cancer cells. So Target 9 and Target 10. We're aiming for 2 lead indications at this point. That is glioblastoma, triple-negative breast cancer, 2 very important cancer indications with very little treatment options, and also a great market for both these indications. And I said integrin alpha-10 is really a exciting and a novel cancer target. I said it was discovered in Xintela, and we found that we see a very interesting correlation between expression of integrin alpha-10 on these cancer cells and how aggressive they are, also including if they are metastasizing. So and from all studies we have performed in the lab, we can see that it is involved in promoting cell or cancer growth, also cell proliferation, survival, and migration and spreading. And we've seen that it is highly expressed on several, also other aggressive cancers, but we are now focused on glioblastoma, triple-negative breast cancer. Another important feature is that it is very low, very restricted in normal tissues, and that makes it also a good target, because then we will have less risks and less side effect from this treatment. I'll have a couple of slides here showing some data, and this here to the left show tumor volume in an animal model of a glioblastoma tumor, and then you see in purple there how really Target 10, our ADC, really suppress the growth of this tumor, and then in contrast with the control antibody in orange and just the buffer in PBS. So it has very significant efficacy in these models, and we do not see any safety issues by looking at the weight of these animals. A feature I just wanted to lift up here on the Target 10, which is not used as an ADC in this case, that is, it really very strongly inhibits metastasis. So this is triple-negative breast cancer that is known to induce metastasis, and that's also why it's very aggressive. And we analyze the effect of the antibodies in metastasis model, and we can really see how Target 10, our antibody, really push down the metastasis. You also see there in color the difference between TARG10, our antibody, and the control antibody. So this is actually also beautiful, beautiful data. This is a function blocking antibody now, but TARG10 can also be made as an ADC. So we have actually several options here with TARG9 and TARG10. And I mention this also because I like to share this with you, that antibody drug conjugates is really one of the hottest areas right now within oncology. And there have been major technology advancements in this field recently, and improvement both in preclinical and clinical studies. So there have been really a surge in market approvals, and we also now to see many blockbusters coming up, commercial success for several companies. So there is a huge interest for ADCs and a huge interest for unique ADCs. I think this is a really good situation for Targinta. And if you look there to the right, this is from Biopress Online in just a few months ago, reporting ADC deals between 2018 and 2022. And you can see the number of deals to the left here that are made both at the discovery stage and preclinical stage, and really showing the interest in new ADCs in this field. And then looking there to the right, you can also see the deal values, average deal values. This comes from the same report, and how high they are also at preclinical stage. So there they show average deal value preclinical $2 billion already at the preclinical stage, and we're upfront in the preclinical around 52. So I think this is really exciting for Targinta, and I think Targinta has really built a unique position in the ADC field with a novel cancer target, first-in-class antibodies, outstanding patent protection, and also importantly a restricted distribution in normal tissues. So the next step for us now with Targinta, we're looking into financing possibilities for phase 0 studies, and also we're also putting now a lot of effort into business development, and also investigate the possibility for early partnerships. So with that, I like to end my presentation, and I also hope I convinced you why this deal, the structure of our rights issue is with warrants that can be activated within 2 years is very attractive. Thank you.
Thank you. So this is a bit different. We talked this morning before you came about the emissions share offerings.
Yes.
Not emissions, share offerings.
Yeah, right.
that are common nowadays with guarantors, and they get paid, so their acquisition price for their shares are below that of other takers of the share offering. And the usual thing is they sell fast. So, but you don't have that because you have your main owner instead that promised to buy their part.
Yes, Fler Invest have 50 million that they invest in this share issue. But you mentioned this with we decided not to have a guarantor structure this time, and we really wanted to do something different, and we hope also something better for the shareholders.
Yes, even though we've had, the bull market for share offerings started maybe 2012, and it peaked 16, 17, 18, and it's been like until even through COVID, but that ended last fall. So now it's a very much tougher climate, and also what the shareholders have to decide on now is that your share is trading at about 0.25, but the offering is 30, but then you get the offering
Yes. Yeah, we set the price around 30 when we were looking at what the price had been about the 1 month before, and it was above, it was below 30. So we thought 30 was a good price, a good and even number also. And added on this warrant structure, I think is that we believe is really the strong and attractive part in this whole
Can
setup.
we pull up that?
Sure.
We use the back button.
Yeah.
Oh, this
A
is
few
in
more.
the
Yeah,
beginning.
I had it in the beginning.
Okay.
Correct.
Wow.
There.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the reason to take part in this, even though the share is actually trading below, is that you get
Yes, definitely.
the option, and that's for 0.3.
That's the same price,
Yes.
30 öre, and you can actually then convert your 2 options per 3 shares anytime at 4 different time points. That is in conjunction with us coming out with a Q1 and Q3 report, and then you can decide, when you want to convert.
Okay. I'm not very bright, but maybe other people are. But I don't see any reason to convert it here. I would wait till 25 then.
Well, I guess that you will see depending on what is happening in Xintela and Targinta, because we see a lot will happen the coming 2 years and even the coming year with data from our clinical studies. We're very active also in discussing with partners and so on. But I agree with you. That would make sense to wait. But we'll see. It will be very exciting. Maybe that's some light really because of good development of the share price, because of exciting information coming out. So we'll see.
You mean the shares goes to 100 kroner and I convert it and sell it, so I'm swimming in cash.
I just think it's really great that you have, because 2 years is also a long time, and you may, for many different reasons, maybe you want to convert at an earlier time point. So we actually just give that opportunity. You decide.
Okay. Yeah, different and exciting. Let's look at the money here. With this market, maybe you won't get fully subscribed then. So fully subscribed would be 1, 2, 3 million. But then what we know is Fear Invest will take 50 million, if I'm rounding a bit. But then you also, you will pay back a loan that they have given Xintela with that money, don't you?
Yes, we have also already in last fall, Fler Invest also signed we agreed on a convertible loan of 25, and then we have during the spring also additional loans. So all this is described, by the way, in our prospectus also that came out, that published yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for the XSTEM study, when is the top results being published, you think? I know you don't know that definitely, but about when?
Well, we have, as I said, there are three different doses. So it's a dose escalation study, and this will go on with all, well, actually, can I just go to where I actually had this table? Okay. If I can do that, we'll see. Here. Yeah. So this is where we started then with cohort 1. That was the lowest dose, and the enrollment, and then 6-month data, and that is what we have started to evaluate now. And I reported that the patients, report less pain and improved joint function. That's effect data that we can see from that. Now this will go on 6 months from now. This patient, it will be 12 months from from dosing. And during that time, we also have cohort second with a higher dose of XSTEM that will come to the 6-month data. So in 23, as you will see, we will have, well, of course, we will have safety data from all doses, but we will also have efficacy data, especially from the lowest and the middle dose, and also the highest dose is coming to the end of 23. So every 6 months here there is information coming out, and as I said, right now we have evaluated the early efficacy signals from pain and joint function for the lowest dose.
Yeah, but if this data is good, and this study, phase 1, will prove it's not toxic. You don't get green hair and your teeth fall out.
That's primarily, yeah.
Sorry, but there are also some.
Yeah.
The 2A part is the efficiency.
During this study, we also look at what we say preliminary efficacy. So we analyze, as we say, pain, function, walk test. We analyze different biomarkers. We also are doing MRI and X-ray. So there are a lot of assessment that will be compiled in the final report. When we will report all of that is not decided. That we will see also how the study progresses. Yeah. But it's likely that we don't have to wait to end of 24 before we can report great data.
Yeah. We're running short on time, so we need to be focused. But I mean, this is 2A. If successful, Xintela will need a phase 2B and a phase 3, and that needs to be bigger studies. So if everything goes well, when can XSTEM be a functioning treatment, and B, how much will that cost, do you think?
Yeah, not easy questions, but of course I have, some answers to that. First of all, it will not be Xintela that will take XSTEM through these phases. When, we are already now looking for a development partner, and if you remember in my presentation, it also says here, this is 24 patients now. We also have an option to add on 30 patients. And that will also help us also to maybe add additional patients, maybe in certain groups, to build even a stronger phase 1 to A study. Because depending on our results from this study, from that it will be decided, do we need a 2B? Or can we go directly to a pivotal phase 3? So that needs to be decided based on the data that we have, and likely also decided with a partner, yes. Of course. So and just say something about the time. A phase 2B may take around 2 years, could start then in the beginning of 25, and then a phase 3 additional will be 3 years. So if I could say with or without 2B, between 5 or 7 years before we have an approved product, roughly.
Yes.
And cost several hundred millions, depending on what
that was my question. You need a partner,
yes.
because the cost of 2B and pivotal phase 3 is several times the market value.
We want to see that money from that study will also come into our pocket from different milestones in the development, of course. Yeah.
Short last question and short last answer.
Yes.
As a question on TARG 9, on a slide you had antibody plus toxin.
Yes.
What sort of toxin?
Yeah, we don't announce that today, but I can say one of these newer toxins, very powerful, and also being used by others in development. They look very promising.
Why not lutetium?
I don't know. We're happy to discuss that. If you have interesting information, I don't know.
Okay, time flies, so we're going to have to cut it short there. Thank you very much.
Well,
Exciting.
thank you.
We wish you good luck,
Well,
and,
thank you very
and we
much.
like this share offering structure.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Då byter vi till svenska och jag ska först be dig.